just a little bit more in this whole layers thing. You should see your layers menu or toolbar, whatever, over here on the side. When I have layer 1 selected in this case, I can even rename this to the guy if I'd like. So if I have the guy selected, anything I do is going to only affect the guy. If I have the background selected, the only thing it's going to affect is the background. It makes it really handy when you're trying to alter part of something or combine other photos. And if this is where it gets super important, that if you do not, when you're working on the image, if you do not save it as a PXD file, the layered pixel image file, these layers will not be separate when you open it, and you won't be able to work on the layers separately. So it's very, very important when you save. It takes longer, but you need to take the time to save it as a PXD file, or it will not let you work into the separate layers when you open it up the next day. Now what we want to do next, you may be able to see that the wand tool doesn't quite perfectly select things. When you use paid things like Photoshop, it's a little bit better, but for a free thing, it's not too shabby. So we're gonna have to go through and sort of take the little extra white trim off. I'm gonna show you a couple ways to do this. I've done it already myself, but you can watch here to get a few ideas. Whatever works best for you is perfectly fine. In some situations, it's a little bit better to use the lasso tool and the polygon lasso tool. Err on the side when you're doing this of grabbing a little bit extra of this suit. That way some of the shading gets taken out, and you make sure to get all the way out. Pick modestly sized areas in case you make mistakes. Oops, I made a mistake right there. You have to make sure that you are in the layer of the guy in the suit, not the background layer. So I need to have the guy layer selected, and now I see I delete some of the white and some of the background, some of the extra lighting. So again, one way is using, not the best job there, one way is using the lasso tool. You can use the polygon version or the free select, whichever works best for you is perfectly fine. The other way, of course, to do this is to use the eraser tool. There are certain spots where using the eraser tool does work pretty well. It takes a pretty sure hand. You actually probably want to use one of the harder brushes just to be a little more precise. Again, there's a few spots, especially around the fingers, where using the free erase just seems to work a little bit better. Make sure to zoom in as much as you can. Make sure you make it as large as you can. I'm going to show you just a little bit more here. Again, to use the lasso tool for some of these longer areas. And once again, err on the side of taking a little bit too much of the suit off, as long as you make clean and smooth lines and more or less follow the outline of the guy. When you zoom out, you'll see that you can hardly tell that we took a few extra pixels off. Now, Photoshop also has something that would automatically shrink everything by 5 or 10 pixels, but Pixlr does not have that option, so we need to do it manually.